And now, for a different point of view, I asked a man who is a legendary English commentator right through my career and well beyond. He's been a motorcycle journalist since 1980. He was the editor of the official Moto Grand Prix season review for well over a decade. He wrote Carl Fogarty's biography and, among other things, the history of the V4 Honda 4-stroke. I'm in that one. Julian Ryder knows motorcycle racing, and here's what he had to say about the best race he ever saw.
Simon has asked me to relate the story of my greatest race. Now, this is not a race I took part in. Anything I ever did on a motorcycle could never be described as racing. This, I believe, is the greatest race I ever saw. It is the Australian Grand Prix of 2003, won by Valentino Rossi. Now, this is not what you expect when you talk about a great Valentino Rossi race. This is not '09 in Barcelona against Lorenzo. It's not Laguna against Stoner. It's not Jerez against Gibernau. This effectively is Valentino Rossi against the clock. Round, in my view, the greatest racetrack in the world on, again in my view, probably the best racing motorcycle ever built, the V5 Honda. It went like this. This is the penultimate round of the championship. Valentino's champion already. The Hondas are winning everything and no one else can get a punch in, although the Ducatis of Loris Capirossi and Troy Bayliss are, you know, giving them a good run. Troy especially, who was a little bit excitable this weekend of his own Grand Prix. So what happened was the race starts and you're off to the normal group punch up at the front of a Phillip Island race. And it's like it for 4 laps, a brawling group. And then, now let me get my notebook because I'm going to need to make sure I get some numbers right here. It's a 27 lap race. And on lap 4, Bayliss crashes at Honda corner. That's the hard braking before the tight right-hander before Siberia, turn 4. And goes down like a sack of spuds, knocks himself out. On the next lap, lap 5, Valentino goes from 4th to 1st. But at Honda corner, there's a yellow flag out because they're still picking Troy and bits of his bike up. And he passed Melandri there for 3rd place. There is no question it was a yellow flag infringement. There was a debate afterwards about visibility and positioning or what have you, but there's no doubt it was a yellow flag offence. Now, nobody really knows what's going to be done, if anything, about this till lap 11, when Valentino gets a 10-second penalty. At this point, he is 3.4 seconds clear of the field. Now, imagine you're Valentino. You're out front, you're controlling the race, probably saving the tyre, generally comfortable. But he's getting pit signals saying he is 7th or 8th place and about, 6 seconds or so behind the leaders. So first off, he's got to work out what's going on. And for the next 4 laps, he only gained around half a second on the pack. Then, between laps 15, laps 15 to 18 inclusive, lap records every time, new lap records. And he drops the time from 132.161 to 131.421. And only for one more lap does he drop into the 32s, and that by just 1/1000th of a second. So, he's got the hammer down. And by lap 20 or so, was it 20? Let's have a look. Let's check the, one always keeps the lap charts and the analysis for these sort of things. His lead went over 10 seconds at the end of lap 23 of 27. But he carried on pushing and eventually won by over 15 seconds, corrected, of course, to a 5-second victory. Why was this so special? Well, Valentino said it was the only time, maybe the first time, sorry, that he'd pushed for 100% of a race ever in the top class. And it was on Phillip Island. And we all know what that means. It's the best racetrack in the world, the most testing racetrack in the world. And he had to push round there on the V5 on tyres that, yeah, you didn't know were going to take it. It's the biggest test of a tyre in the calendar, Phillip Island. And he did it. He did it. It was, the more I look back, the more I'm convinced it's the best I've seen. And he celebrated on the rostrum, of course. It was the first year in Australia without Barry Sheen, the adopted Aussie. And Valentino had a bedsheet from his hotel with a number 7 stenciled on it. He did apologise to the hotel. And I went over to the merchandising area and bought that badge, a souvenir of the Barry Sheen Memorial Ride that same afternoon. An emotional day, and I think the best day's racing, the best race I've ever seen.